We are now joined by Mr. Carson Block. He is founding partner of Muddy Waters Research and a speaker at this year's Gallen Symposium. Mr. Block, thank you very much for granting us some of your time.
Thank you.
Muddy Waters Research is an investment and research enterprise that conducts extensive on-the-ground investigations of US-listed foreign companies, primarily operating in China. In this context, you have personally faced a lot of risk, even concerning your own safety. Is it worth it?
Well, to be honest, time will tell whether it's worth it or not. Obviously, if something really bad happens to my family or myself, I think we'd say it's not worth it. The biggest risks that we face are legal. When we publish on a company and we call it a fraud, companies could just, sheerly to seek retribution, could smack us with a lawsuit. So that's the biggest risk that we're concerned with. In terms of the physical risks, we try to be careful, and I'm the only publicly known member of Muddy Waters. So, if something bad's going to happen, I guess it would happen to me. But so far, I'd say it's worth it.
Your session at this year's symposium explored various investigative techniques that can help mitigate the risk of fraud when investing in emerging market companies. Is there a preferred choice among these investigative techniques which has proven to be working well?
Yes, there are two things that we do that are particularly helpful. The first is applicable to a company based anywhere in the world, and that is we also approach the company as a potential client. So they don't know that we're an investment research firm, because we want to see the business the way the client sees it, which can often be, in the China context, quite different than how the investment community sees it. The second thing that we do is we make extensive use of publicly available government records on these Chinese companies. So that may be of limited use depending where in the world you are, but it's something that is basic due diligence if you're reviewing, that we think should be part of any equity investment research process.
Given your long experience in China, could you elaborate on the supposed risk aversion apparent in Chinese society, especially in matters regarding finance?
Well, for me, it's difficult to say that Chinese are risk averse. One thing I have noticed that is an interesting way that they mitigate risk is, generally speaking, entrepreneurs will have partners. There seems to be an attitude that aspiring entrepreneurs do not want to be the sole proprietors of businesses. So, and that actually has a lot of merit to it. But aside from that, I do think that there's a lot of risk-taking behavior. Certainly a lot of capital is allocated in ways that I wouldn't agree with. So I would say that illustrates a lack of risk aversion overall in China.
You essentially profit out of the fraud of others. Do you think that your business is a role model for the leaders of tomorrow attending this Gallen Symposium?
Well, I think it's very useful for society. If there had been a way to make money by exposing Madoff, then I think Madoff would have blown up years earlier and with far fewer billions of dollars in losses. So, it is a very useful function for society. Now, fortunately, there's only so much fraud that's out there. So I don't think that every investment bank should rush into setting up a fraud research department, because probably most of them won't make money on it. But if there were more ways to profit from exposing malfeasance of others, I think in general we would have societies that were more harmonious than they are.
Mr. Block, thank you very much for granting us some of your time and your statements. Enjoy your stay here at the Gallen Symposium.
Thank you.